our session today. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join us for this insightful webinar session. Our title for our training session today is Digital Kickstart, Set Up, Optimize, and Grow Your Pharmacy Online. My name is Sheila, and I am delighted to be a moderator for today's session, which is brought to you by us in Supply Health and our partner Via Health. Over the next hour, our goal is to provide you with practical tools and strategies you will need to build a strong online presence for your pharmacy. But before we dive deeper into that, a few ground rules for our session today. So during the sessions, you will notice that all participants will remain muted so as to allow no interruptions during the sessions to our speakers. We will also request you to ask questions by the Q&A tab, which is at the bottom of your window. All questions will be addressed by the presenters at the end of the session. Some of them might also be answered as we proceed. So if any questions comes up, don't be shy, just ask it on the Q&A chat and we'll be able to respond to it. This session is being recorded, and once we are through, we will be able to make it available on our YouTube page and share the slides and also the video recording. So for anyone who would want to listen back and just catch up, or for anyone who would want to catch up with the discussions from today. And I want to give a chance to two of our partners, that's the associations, KPA, Kenya Pharmaceutical Association, and PSK, that's Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, just to say a word and then welcome everyone to the session and the participants. I will start with Cletus from KPA. Karibu.
Good morning, Sheila. Just confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. My good name is Cletus Otieno, Project Administrator at the Kenya Pharmaceutical Association. And Kenya Pharmaceutical Association is one of the great partners in the Optimizing Pharmacy channel, whose primary outcome, number 4, is to enable demand generation for pharmacies to increase the client footfall in your pharmacies. And that is our major goal, that we support the visibility of pharmacies. And we are aware that demand creation through social media is currently becoming an essential strategy for pharmacies. Today, clients rely on digital spaces for health information and decision making. And as such, targeted social media campaigns through our pharmacies can raise the awareness to the general public on the family planning options and other healthcare services that the pharmacies provide. And therefore, I want to urge members of KPA and the attendees of this particular training session to take keen interest, as we will have the purpose to create public awareness and demand generation for family planning. You will get to know how you will be able to do this and then position your pharmacy to be this credible and accessible client-friendly points for care. So I welcome you all to participate actively, but also listen and take notes. Thank you from KPA. We say asante and please welcome. Back to you, Sheila.
Thank you, Cletus, for the warm welcome. I'll hand it over to Dr. Joe from PSK.
Thank you, Sheila. Can I be heard? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Good morning, members. PSK representative and technical project lead. My name is Joe Mwangi Kamau. My noble diplomas, you've heard, maybe you've had me around, Dr. Wasumu. I am very happy to welcome you to this session. PSK, as always, is committed to the OPC project. We are in, for those who might know, we are in year 2, quarter 1, year 3 OPC, and we are ready to roll out this demand generation program. But as such, we are also looking at how you can transform your pharmacy to reach a number or a greater number of people, even as we try to make sure that the method choices that are available, which are short-term, reach to every client who steps in the pharmacy. And therefore, in this regard, I welcome you all, and I thank you for finding time to participate in this session. Thank you, Sheila, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Joe, and thank you, Cletus, for the warm welcome. We shall proceed. We have a packed agenda today with 3 expert speakers whom we all hope to learn from, even as we prepare to shape our pharmacies to be able to drive demand to our pharmacies. And by the end of this session, you will be able to learn how social media works, the psychology behind social media, how to profit from social media for your pharmacy, how to DIY, do it yourself, social media successfully. You'll also be able to get recommendations and tips on how to better use social media to leverage for your pharmacy businesses. We'll also help you to understand how you can make your business more Googleable. What is Google My Business? How do you go about setting up a Google business account? You'll also be able to have a checklist on how this is structured and how this will also benefit your pharmacy. So be keen, take notes, ask lots of questions, and I really hope at the end of this session, you'll all have benefited and have greatly understood how you can leverage social media, not just for demand generation for FP, but as a business as a whole. How do you leverage it to make your business more and more profitable and more engaging to the clients that you serve? With no further ado, I will want to welcome our first speaker, Florence Wairimo, to take over the next session. Karibu, Florence.
Thank you, Sheila. Please confirm you can hear and see me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. So today I'll be taking you through something that really has transformed the way we do business, and I'll be showing you how you can use social media not only to connect with your community, but how to grow your pharmacy's bottom line. Sheila, can you move to the next slide? So what can you do with social media? So social media today, it's not only for posting photos or memes, which are exciting, but it's a very powerful business tool that you can use. So how can you leverage the different platforms that are available to showcase your expertise and services? So how you can do that is you're already a trained professional. So how do you build trust with your clients online? How can you use the knowledge that you gain to show that you have expertise within the pharmacy space? Another thing social media can help you do is expand your digital skills, keeping your business modern and competitive. We know we are in a very fast-paced environment where social media platforms and social media space keeps changing, and there are new things that are coming up each and every day. So how do you make sure that you leverage your business such that you're able to compete and move with the pace that social media is moving? And the other thing is social media allows you to engage with the community by sharing health tips and creating awareness for campaigns. For example, this month is breast cancer awareness month. So some of the things that you could share and you could, engage in sharing tips about breast cancer awareness, sharing resources that your clients can get and engage with to know more about breast cancer awareness. So that's just one of the ways to connect with your community. But also social media allows you to promote your products and services. So beyond the everyday things that you do, beyond the clients that you engage with on a daily basis who walk into your premise, how can you also let other people who do not know where your pharmacy is, how do you let them know about the services that you provide? How do you let them know about the products that are available within your pharmacy? So social media allows you to, be able to showcase that and let people know more of the things that you can offer. And best of all, you're able to reach more people beyond the pharmacy world, beyond the walk-ins. You're able to attract more clients at little and no cost. Social media currently is free unless you want to advertise. That's when you're only required to pay for ads. But in short, social media helps you to position yourself as a trusted healthcare provider in your community. Next slide. Next slide, please. So in the next slide, I'll be talking to you about what is the most important social media. Sorry? Sheila, you were speaking?
Proceed.
Okay. Okay. So I know currently the social media space is very full of many platforms that you could use, and I'm sure you're wondering, so which platform should I use for my business? Well, I'd say it depends with your goals, and it also depends with the type of audience that you have. So we look at some of the platforms that are available, and the first one is Facebook. Platforms that you have to understand, and the beauty about Facebook is that it cuts across all generations. So it's perfect to reach a broad audience. You can, some of the things you could do with Facebook, you can go live, you can list your services on Facebook Marketplace, and you can respond to clients and questions directly. When you look at Instagram is a bit different. It appeals to a younger audience, but it's also for when you want to create visuals. So again, if you're looking to create visuals about your products, about your services, platform to do that. And also if you want to showcase your team, for example, if your pharmacy, you have 2 or more people working in there, it's a great platform to showcase who they are and the people who work behind the counter. It's also a platform where you can create engaging story, especially when you want to create videos. The other platform is X. X is very fast and it's great for sharing real-time updates and news or any public health tips, and it's perfect for basically news and sharing information. Generally for X, you don't need visuals, a lot of visuals like Instagram or Facebook, but if you want just to share short messages or updates, or just get to understand what other people are doing within the space, get updates, for example, from the Ministry of Health and other regulators, this is a great platform to do that. But so there are other tools that you can also leverage, not only for your pharmacy as a business, but for you as an individual. So LinkedIn is one of those platforms, and LinkedIn is categorized as more of a professional networking platform where you can connect with other healthcare professionals, you can connect with suppliers, you can connect with vendors, and also if you're looking to partner with people or maybe other pharmacies, this is the platform you can do that. But for me as an individual, my recommendation for you for a business, I'd say it's good for you to, as an individual, to be on LinkedIn, but as a business, LinkedIn is not the place for your business. Why? Because your clients, the people who come to buy from you on a daily basis, are not on LinkedIn. You probably get them on X, on Facebook, or on Instagram. The other platform is YouTube. So, for example, if you want to share long educational videos about maybe some of the products that you have, if you want to share long form type of content, maybe more than 5 minutes videos about health, about any type of things. For example, in this case, if you want to share about family planning and how people can get cancelled about family planning, how do they go about that? So YouTube is a great platform where you can save and build your audience there, where you can share health tips and your services. Another interesting platform, and this one we cannot ignore it, and it's TikTok. It's for a more younger demographic, and it's great for short creative videos, great for storytelling, and it works wonders. So if your clientele is on TikTok, this is you might need to subscribe to TikTok and create a business account for your TikTok. Also, TikTok, the good thing is that some of these platforms continue to change day in, day out, and we continue to see improvements that come each and every day that are being introduced. So it's a great platform also to sell your services and also promote some of the products that you sell within your premise. WhatsApp Business. Now, this is good for one-on-one or direct communication because it cuts across age, it cuts across groups, and it's great for when you want to provide client support and also marketing. The good thing with WhatsApp Business, it also allows you to list your products, the products that are available within your premise. So, for example, I want to see if your pharmacy has these products, I can just go to your account and see those products that are available. So then it allows you to leverage WhatsApp, not just as a platform for communicating directly with your clients, but also to showcase what's available within your pharmacy. Next slide. Next thing we'll be talking about is marketing. And marketing is very important for any type of business. And the foundation of any type of communication strategy is marketing. And you need to understand the 5 C's of marketing. And some of those things, we call them, and that you need to look into is company, customer, competitors, collaborators, and climate. And why is this important? You need to know your pharmacy identity. What do you stand for as a pharmacy? Do you want to promote more family planning services? Do you want to be a pharmacy known for wellness? Do you want to be known as a pharmacy that takes care, provides chronic care? So you need to define that for your business. Again, also about customers. Who are they? Who are the people who walk into your pharmacy? Are they parents? Are they youth? Are they professionals within your community? Who are the people that you interact with most? Their needs should be able to guide you on the type of content that you are providing. Competitors. So what makes you unique from other pharmacies or other suppliers? Collaborators. If you want to work with doctors, if you're working with non-governmental organization or local influencers to expand your reach, how can you be able to collaborate and create content, but also build traffic for your platform? Again, climate. As you engage on social media, you also need to stay updated on what are some of the health trends that are coming up. What are some of the digital habits that you see that are being shown on social media, and what are some of the regulations that are there that are within the pharmacy space? But also, even as we go to of marketing continues to evolve daily. And basically, it's because social media and how people are interacting with social media, we are seeing a change in the way people are marketing their products and their services. So it's no longer just about selling, it's about connecting with people, and it's meeting people where they are. So one of the things that is important today in the new marketing space is content creation. You need to share valuable and engaging posts. You need to create value for people when they come to your page and to your platform. Culture within where you are situated, where your premise is, there people interact differently from people in Nairobi, from people in Nakuru, from people in Mombasa, or people in Kisumu or in the Rift Valley. So how do you make sure that you're being culturally sensitive to the community around you? Also connecting, social media, it's not a one-way street. You need to build a two-way type of conversation with your client so that when they come and ask a question, you're able to respond and you're able to provide the kind of feedback that they need. Also consistency. So for example, if you've started or if you haven't started, for example, and you've decided, you know what, I'll be posting every week, once a week, for example, on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Consistency means if I've decided to post every Tuesday at 10 a.m., it means that every week I come back at 10 a.m., I share a post. And that will create repetitive presence, and your audience will know that every Tuesday, such and such a pharmacy make sure they post content on their platform. And so you'll create an expectation for your audience. Conversion. Again, you're not on social media just to create awareness. You need your followers to turn into real customers and to real sales. So as you do that, consistency and being consistent and connecting with your audience will be able to help you to convert that into real-time profit for your business. Next slide. Again, social media is very diverse and it's very interesting in the way people engage and how people engage with different products and with different organizations. How people engage with the government, for example, and how people engage with, for example, in supply health is very different. And so social media, when you're on social media, you need to create relationships with your audience. At the heart of social media, it's building trust. If people can be able to trust you, you need to share accurate information so that you're reliable and you become a reliable service provider that people can go to when they need healthcare information. Social media is also a place where you can encourage people to engage with your content. For example, if you post, encourage people to connect with your post, to comment and ask questions. Also, in terms of building relationships, it's also a platform where you need to show your human side. Like I said previously when I started, your team, if you have a team within your premise, how can you showcase their expertise, who they are, so that when they walk into your pharmacy, they look at familiar faces and they are able to connect with the people they get to see when they walk into your pharmacy. Also, tell your story. What are some of the stories that you've experienced? What are some of the questions that you get asked most when people walking into your pharmacy? And that people will be able to relate because it's something they encounter a lot. So for example, if people ask about a particular product a lot, if they ask about a particular maybe side effects of a product a lot, can you be able to create a story around that and tell people more about that and create information and educate your clientele about that particular product? Again, your loyalty is very important when it comes to social media. As you create those relationships, they become consistent, and also you're able to retain your clientele that you build on social media. Next slide. We always talk about the psychology of social media, and as humans, we talk about the Maslow hierarchy of needs. But beyond the Maslow hierarchy of needs, when we look at social media, what does that translate to? So how do some of the posts go viral and why do others not go viral? And one of the things is attention. If you cannot grab people's attention within the first 3 seconds, then they'll not be able to engage with your post. So it's very important as you create your post, be able to grab people's attention within the first 3 seconds. And then after that, they'll be able to, engage more with your content. Again, emotion, you need to inspire people to want to come back for more information, to be able to entertain them and be able to educate them about healthcare. And entertaining, I do not mean that you're going out of content in terms of pharmacy, but creating stories about some of the questions that you frequently asked questions that you get as a service provider. Belonging, people want to feel like they belong into a community. So when you're on social media, again, you remember that you're building a community around your business. So how do you make sure that when people interact with your business, they feel like they belong to that and they can connect with your business? Again, trust is important. Trust comes by you being consistent and you being credible. And credible means that you're sharing accurate information and that you are a reliable provider. And then beyond that, you need to tell people what to do next. So people have come to your profile, they've seen that you're sharing all this type of information. So what else do you want them to do? So you need them to either call, you can ask them to visit your pharmacy, give them the location of your pharmacy, give them the contact details if they want to call or inquire about a certain product or service, give them that information so that beyond the posting, you're also creating a call to action for everything that you're doing for people to now come into your pharmacy and get those services. Next slide. So how do you profit from social media? Again, engagement alone isn't enough to turn into profit. Now, likes and shares are very good, but they don't always pay the bill. So to make social media profitable, you need content that converts. And we've shared here a rule, and that is the 70-20 rule. And 70% means you should provide value. And how do you provide that value? That is by sharing tutorials, by providing health tips, by sharing frequently asked questions. And then the other 20% will be now engagement, asking people questions, for example, creating polls, community posts that will allow your clientele now to engage with your content. And then 10% will be promoting the services that you offer and the call to action to either buy or come into your pharmacy and get the services. Next slide. So at the end of the day, as much as you're posting, today in 2025, authenticity wins, and UGC is user-generated content. So of course, you have clients that come into your premise. How can you leverage their voices to create traffic to your premise? So you can ask maybe one of your regular customers to share their experience when they come to your pharmacy. So they can share a photo, they can share a review, or they can share a testimonial about the services or the products that they've been able to get from your premise. And with that, people are able to see that you indeed engage with clients and you're able to build trust with people, and they're able to see the human side of everything that you do. Next slide. So how do you do it yourself on social media strategically? We'll talk about that in the next slide. One of the things that you need to do is to understand your audience. What questions do they ask daily? It's essential to ensure that you're relating with the kind of clientele that coming into your premise. So if they ask, like I said, if they ask about a particular product, why don't you go deeper into talking about that product so that they can get more information, and you're also on your end creating more awareness about that product. If that product has side effects, you can share that on social media and be able to tell them, what are some of the next steps that they can take when they experience those side effects. Also, another thing that you can do, I know the pharmacy business is very busy. And so you want to be able to plan yourself so that social media works for you. So you cannot be able to do it on a daily basis. So how else can you be smart about it? So one of the things that you can do is create a content calendar. So for example, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, you have free time that you can work on your social media. So one of the things that you could do is plan your content. If you've decided on Tuesday and Thursday I post content, you can schedule those posts on a Sunday, and during the week you don't have to worry about that because you've already scheduled the post for your platform, and all you need to worry about is whether people are engaging with your content. So you've already planned ahead, and you don't have to worry about engaging, leaving your premise and juggling social media, but also trying to provide the services within your premise. Also, the other thing is mixed content types. Again, not only sharing photos, you can engage using videos. And later on in this presentation, we'll just share a few examples of how you could do that. You could create infographics, and you could also write short blogs that are about the services or products that you're selling. Again, engage actively, respond to comments and DMs that you receive within your platform. Next slide. So using social media for educational and information, and this is what I was saying, that if you're sharing information about family planning or contraceptives, it's important to categorize the information that you're sharing. If it's family planning, let's say Tuesday you've decided I'll be sharing about family planning, make sure that every Tuesday you're sharing about that. If you want to share more information about vaccination, you can get resources about that and share about that. And if it's about chronic diseases, you can also do that. Provide medication and treatment information. Like I said, if it's dosages, side effects, and drug interactions, these are some of the information that you could use as part of your content for social media. Also, highlight new products and services. If you've introduced a new product, if you've introduced a new service, keep your clients updated on what's new within your pharmacy business. You can also use platforms for community education. You can host a Q&A session where you tell your clients, come to at a certain time, I'll be hosting a Q&A session. Come and ask me questions directly and be able to provide the answers to those questions. The other thing is share community events. If, for example, within your area, there's a health fair or wellness days that are going on, you can partner or you can let them know about what's happening within the community. If there are medical drives that are coming up, you can also share that just to let your clients know what's happening. And lastly, in my last slide, I'll talk about monitoring and engaging. So again, we've talked about what you can do and what you can create to engage with your audience. How else can you monitor and engage? So likes and followers help you to measure the popularity and growth of your channel. They are very good to see the type of engagements that you're getting within your platforms. Comments and share, measure the impact of your content. Clicks, they measure the effectiveness of your call to action and interests with your audience. Also check for things like mentions and hashtags. So if another person has mentioned your pharmacy or you as an individual, monitor how people perceive your business. Analytics And these are things like reach, impressions, and engagement rate. They help you understand your audience and optimize your strategy for better results. So as I wrap up this, social media is not just for posting, it's about connecting, it's about educating, and it's about growing your business. So you can start small, but be consistent. And remember that people don't just buy medicine, they buy trust. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Florence, for that fantastic overview. It's clear that a well thought out social media strategy is very essential. And now that we know how to engage with our community, let's focus on making sure that they can actually find us in the first place, which now brings us to our next topic, Google My Business. You can share your questions on the chat or also on the Q&A tab as we proceed. Let nothing go unsaid. I'm pleased to introduce our second speaker, Bernard. He will show us why it's crucial to be Googleable and will provide a step-by-step checklist for setting up your Google business profile. As we learn, a complete profile is 2 times more likely to be considered reputable by clients. So over to you, Bernard. Karibu.
Thank you, Sheila. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be looking at Google My Business, which is a free tool that you can be able to take or rather leverage on in terms of being available online, being searchable, or what we call being Googleable. So on the next slide, you're able to see how you can be able to set up your pharmacy or rather your chemist. And of course, make sure that your business profile is being found by your customers easily on both search and also on maps. We'll be able to see how we can be able to increase visibility, being able to attract walk-ins for your customers, at the same time being able to build the trust, rather your trust online. Next slide. Yeah, so how Google works in terms of helping you get found and also at the same time get considered and lastly being chosen in a clouded kind of search results. So Google finishes your search thoughts and this is how it works. It helps your pharmacy or chemist be found, and this is based on relevance, distance from where you are, as well as prominence in terms of how you have been able to optimize your profile. And this is touches on the title of the Google My Business, as well as the description that you put in on the Google My Business. And this way, you are able to have your users search by location from where they are able to search for a chemist near me or pharmacy near me. And they can as well be able to put in the location, maybe pharmacy in Nairobi, pharmacy in Westlands, or other pharmacy in Kisumu, wherever you are in terms of location. Next slide. And then when a Google search, it's specific in terms of where they're searching from. The Google My Business uses what we call the GPS location, either from your phone or computer. And this helps them in terms of finding the closest relevant business in terms of the title and what you deal with. In this case, we are dealing with the pharmacist and chemist. If the user specifies a place, pharmacy in Western, Google centers the search around that location, and you're able to see all the pharmacies that are within that locality. And this is how you can be able to leverage on the searches that are coming in within your location for people searching for your pharmacy or your chemist. Next slide. And this is now the Google My Business checklist in terms of how you can be able to set up step by step. The first step is just to go into Google, thebusiness.google.com, log in with your Google account, that is your Gmail account. Remember, you can only use your Gmail account, no any other account. And then you'll follow the prompts or rather the questionnaires that follow in. You'll have number 2, being able to add your name. You can click to add your business name and then enter the pharmacy name, depending on what's your brand name, how you call your pharmacy. For example, we have the Empirical Pharmacy, so you can fill in that as your business name. Number 3, you'll choose the category. Choose a pharmacy as the main category. And then number 4, you add in the address. And this way you're able to like move the cursor or rather the pin location icon to the street address and then place the map pin correctly. Number 5, you'll add in your contacts. This can be your phone number as well as the website. Number 6, you'll fill in your opening hours and closing hours, and also be able to set either you'll be open during holidays or not. And then number 7, you're going to verify. And for you to verify, you need your phone number. Either they will send a code to you to fill in. They can also send this to email, or you can also submit a video on your locality, kind of a 360 video within where your chemist or rather your pharmacy is located. Number 8, you'll upload photos. So you'll take photos of your pharmacy, outside, interior, and of course the surrounding. And then you'll be able to kind of attribute if you offer delivery or if you have a wheelchair access. And then number 9 is the messaging. You can turn on, or rather you can input your WhatsApp for business as mentioned earlier. And then lastly, you can update, you can keep on updating the hours, the photos, and any offers that you have. And at the same time, replying to reviews that come in for the people who you have, of course, served before. So make sure that you use your exact name. Be consistent with your address across all the platforms. So for the addresses and the names, the exact names you have on your socials, or rather social platforms, use the same for the Google My Business. And then when it comes to adding your keywords, you can of course add in the pharmacy near me, pharmacy in Westland, for example, if you're around there. And then at the same time, encourage your customers. Every time you serve a customer, make sure that they at least leave a review for your business or for your chemist. And then make sure you have clear and professional photos on your profile. And at the same time, remember to add a short link to either your WhatsApp or the phone number for your business that they can be able to reach out to you. Next slide. So there are some facts about Google My Business, and they always say that complete listing or other complete profile will equal more customers. And what does this mean? We have 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable when you have a business profile. Number 2, you are 70% more likely to attract location visits for people who are searching for pharmacy near me or chemist near me, and 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. We have very many people moving from one place to the other. We have also been serving people from different countries, from different localities, and every time they arrive in a new place, or maybe they are working in a new locality, they always search for pharmacy near me. If there's an emergency that has come up, or rather they need medicine or need some services either in family planning or anything accidental, they are more likely to go to Google My Business and search for any pharmacy or chemist near them. So complete profile receives an average of 7 times more clicks than an empty one. So all this data shows in terms of how it's very important for you to have a Google My Business and being able to access analytics in terms of how many people requested for directions, how many people called you from the Google My Business, or how many people clicked to either to your CTA, which is the call to action, either to your WhatsApp link or to your website. And you can be able to see how this listing is helping you in terms of finding new customers. So make sure that you have as many keywords as possible that relates to your business, your pharmacy, the services that you are dealing with, and of course, being able to be reached on either call and direction on your Google My Business. Lastly, on the next slide, yeah, we'll be able to help you in terms of if you're not able to set up your Google My Business, you can reach out to one of the agencies to help you in terms of setting up if you're not able. So make sure that you screenshot and save that email and reach out to them if you stuck anywhere. They are verified by the Google East Africa just to make sure that they help businesses set up. So in case you're not able to set it up yourself, you can reach out to that email and you'll be assisted. Thank you so much. That was my time.
Thank you so much, Bernard, for that incredibly practical guide. A complete Google profile is clearly a non-negotiable for your pharmacy today. So we have our social media strategy, we have our Google profile. So how do we tie it all together to make sure we are consistent and we are generating effective content? For this, I'd like to welcome our final speaker, Charity. She's going to walk us through examples and best practices, emphasizing the importance of staying consistent to keep your pharmacy top of mind. Charity will also cover the types of topics to share, including crucial ministry-approved information on FP, as well as how to use hashtags to join the conversation. Karibu, Charity.
Thank you, Sheila. And let's go to the next slide. So thank you. I think as Florence and Bernard have spoken to, we already know why we join social media or why it is important and which social media to use. And we've also learned that it's about building trust and that people don't buy medicine, they buy trust. Yeah, I think these things have kept coming up. And also Bernard has spoken to being Googleable and that it is important to ensure that there's visibility for your business. Yeah, but how do we ensure that we keep showing up and how do we best leverage social media? I think one of the most important steps that my colleagues had spoken to is staying consistent, posting regularly to build trust and keep your pharmacy top of mind when customers are seeking services. This is ensuring that we have already talked about this. It could be around scheduling your content to ensure that you're consistent. But whatever you do, ensuring that if every other day or you have a dedicated day where you put up some messaging, and this could be mixed messaging, again, we're encouraging mixed messaging so that you don't create monotony. You ensure that you have an established cadence of posting content so that your audiences have something to look forward to. Next slide. So it's also very important to note that as you're posting this, and because of the sensitivity around our business, that being pharmacies and healthcare providers, that we provide and share information that is approved by the Ministry of Health. And to the left, to the right, we are seeing some of the examples. These are posters that are approved by the Ministry of Health. I think why is this important? Because it is important that we remain credible, that we are sharing the right messaging, that it's accurate. We don't want to be misleading. And then also understanding that our work is complementary to what the Ministry of Health is doing. So we need to establish that level of trust and by ensuring that we are sharing the right messaging. Next slide, Sheila. So what are some of the topics that we can share? I think we've already talked about this. It's important that first of all, we remember that we need to mix up our message. Today, it could be a short blog. Tomorrow, it could be an explainer. It could be FAQs. It could be anything, just being creative around content creation. And even as we think about some of these topics, it's important that we are providing, again, the right information. I cannot overemphasize that point. So some of the topics that we would think about around family planning, you could talk about pharmacies as trusted sources of family planning and are authorized to offer injectable contraceptives such as DMPC. Again, explainers, what is DMPC? You get to unpack what that is for a client and for them to know the pros and cons, etc. Again, it's important to share evidence-based messaging. Again, we talked about MOH approved messaging. So by the time the MOH is endorsing any kind of messaging around any medication, and you guys know this better than probably I do, is that it is tested and it is proven. So ensuring that these evidence-based messages around effectiveness and efficacy, etc. How the product can increase women's access to contraceptive. Why we are proposing DMPC and other self-care alternatives is so that we are able to increase access. Messages around how you're supporting the access, increasing access to family planning, commodities and contraception. So why do we need to improve access to contraception? Again, an important question. You could build content around that. How to access retail or community pharmacies. We are talking about pharmacies being, a source or being an outlet that extends access to women. So how do you access some of these products? Then share responses on FAQs and DMPC, SI, etc. Just being on the lookout on frequently asked questions and ensuring that we are responding to those. And demystifying some of the common myths and misconceptions around family planning. It's very important. People look up to you as an expert. And the more you're able to position yourself as a trusted provider for both health services, but also health-related information, I think that builds your credibility over time, and that becomes very important. Again, around sharing personal experiences with handling the product and administering it to client. These could be testimonials, and we have talked about the array of social media outlets that you can utilize. This could be explainers on, you could have a TikTok live. Now we see that happening a lot, where you allow people to ask questions, but also you speaking to your experiences. That makes you relatable with your clients. And again, we've said that social media is about enhancing connection and ensuring that people see us as relatable and build trust over time. Next slide. So how do we effectively engage on social media? One of the ways is to use hashtags. And I think most of us have interacted with some of the proposed primary hashtags here. Hashtag advanced FP in pharmacy, hashtag FP in pharmacy, and other hashtags that we can leverage. Why is this important? Because it builds on to an ongoing conversation. It helps what you're putting out there to build on and to link on to other messages that are already out there. So the hope is that we are amplifying a conversation and helping as many people to join in and remember it. So yeah, I think it's important to leverage hashtags on, across the various accounts. Sheila, next slide. So what are some of the tips for success? The first one would be ensuring this is around consistency, 1 to 2 social media posts each week, leveraging at least a maximum of 2 or I would say a minimum of 2 platforms. Ensuring that your message is complementary. If I'm putting something on Facebook, I'm also putting it out probably on LinkedIn or on another platform of my choice. So ensuring that you have at least 2 social media posts weekly, and also participating in conversations. We have talked about creating that social media helps us create communities around us and keep building on that. So being part of a conversation, the more you're present, the more people will remember you, and the more we are talking about building brand trust. So participate in conversation by sharing content from influencers, organizations that you consider as thought leaders in family planning, and also tagging them in your messaging to ensure that you amplify your message. So also it's important to time your message for maximum impact. You could tie this around major events. We know that I think last week, but one, we were marking the World Contraception Day. You as as FP providers, that would have been an opportune time to also share and, add in your voice to the conversation. Yeah, because there is momentum already around family planning and contraception. Just having your voice out there to ensure that people know that you're providing this. How are you providing this? So that when people think about this, they can always recall this conversation. Yeah. Then include a link to drive traffic to other websites or a blog or a media article. Sometimes we are only able to share so much. For example, if it's a tweet, for example, you could add a link or a link to a blog or anywhere else that your audiences can get more information on the particular topic that you're engaging in. Then also add visuals. We've always had that a photo is worth 1,000 words. Add visuals. I think we are gravitating towards where people don't want a lot of content, but they they gravitate more towards something that is more visual. So ensuring that we have that, and we have laid out some of these examples on the right. Sorry, I'm rushing because of time, but next slide, Sheila. So how do we engage on social media? Again, my colleagues have alluded to this. So ways to engage, post on social media, that's the first one, but I would say the first one, the first and foremost is ensure that you're signed up if you're yet to sign up. When you've signed up and you have your platforms ready, post on social media. Content mix, you can use videos, blog posts, microblogging. These are short, short content. You can do live streams, webinars, TikTok lives, etc. Reels, reposting content. Sometimes you don't always have to have fresh content, but if you have content that sort of aligns and speaks to your line of work, reposting content. Being receptive of client feedback, looking out for what is being asked about, what your clients are looking for, what they are seeking to understand, and be on standby to respond to this. You can have polls as well. You want to gauge the understanding, the quality of your service, or people's experiences of different things. At the end of this call, we'll also be having a poll, and you'll see how that is helpful in terms of starting to understand and unpack, your clients' needs for the future. Then also leveraging Q&A, having those sessions that allow you to have more interactions. Yes, again, it's about building credibilities. So how to engage? We are in the emoji era. Use emojis, incorporate images, use hashtags. We've talked about this. Curate others' content. We have said you don't need to always have original content, but you can use content that is relatable, that is already out there, and see how to bring it home, customize it. Use videos and GIFs, share personal experience or stories, etc. So examples, I think there are examples to the right as well. And I think we will be sharing these presentations. You can get to see the examples that are laid out there. Next slide, Sheila. Again, more examples here. We see posts that have a mix of a message, tagging partners. For example, the Ministry of Health, we've talked about tagging the right partners to ensure that you're amplifying impact, using visuals, again, using messaging that is MOH approved. The right photo, we can see someone, I think this is a pharmacy provider in context, in situ, and they're talking about Sayana Press, or they have this advertised within, or they are showing this within their pharmacy setup. So ensuring that content is relatable, is approved, and that you are tagging the right partners to ensure that you amplify impact. Yeah. Good. And leveraging things like hashtags. Next slide, Sheila. I think these are more examples. We've talked about leveraging moments or presenting opportunities, like International Women's Day. We are talking embracing equity. Let's talk about family planning, seeing where to plug in and have, the right conversations. Like International Women's Day is about women, and when that's a really good time to talk about family planning. And as you think through your content and as you create your content calendar, it's good to look out for these important days and think, what will I want to share, or what is the theme? How do I build my messaging around that? How do I make myself how do I add my voice to the conversation? I think it's about being relevant and showing up at the right time and in the right spaces so that we continue to build trust and expand, our engagement. Yeah. Again, use of videos. We've talked about content mix. We cannot stick to one thing. We know that people are looking out for, people's attention span is very limited. So you want to keep it interesting, exciting. So mixing up content to ensure that your audiences stay engaged. Yeah. Next slide, Sheila. This is the last one. Yes. So that's the end of my slide. Over to you, Sheila.
Thank you so much, Charity, for those insightful words. I would like us now to proceed to a short, brief Q&A session. If you have any questions, you can type them on the chat. Please type your questions on the chat so that then we don't leave the session and you still have questions that you may would have wanted to be answered. A few key takeaways from this session. Social media is a powerful tool to showcase your expertise and build trust with your clients. A complete Google My Business profile is essential to get found, considered, and chosen by your customers. Consistency in posting valuable, approved health content is key to building relationships and turning followers into loyal customers. Remember, people don't buy medications, they buy trust. So as we come to the end of our session, please type in your questions on the chat or on the Q&A, and then we will be able to tackle a few of them. As we also do that, I will request that we also fill in this poll. There is a poll that is going to be shared. You can fill in the poll for us, and then we will have one more quick brief talk from Bernard. So please type in your questions on the chat, type in your questions on the Q&A. You can also share your feedback and remarks. Please also fill in the poll that's about to be shared so that then we can get feedback from you. There is the poll. Please type in your feedback. It is important for us to get feedback to understand how the session was for you. And also, again, I reiterate, type in your questions on the chat or on the Q&A framework. Also, type in any feedback or recommendation. Please fill in the poll as we come to the end of our session. Share with us your feedback. What are you going to do different with what you've learned from this session? I hope it has been as insightful for you as it has been for me. How confident do you feel after this session to be able to implement new strategies, digital strategies for your pharmacy? Remember, the key is to remain consistent. Which part of this session did you find most immediately useful for your pharmacy? You could have already had social media presence, or you're working towards gaining more presence for your pharmacy. Also, what other topics would you be interested to learn about in future? It will also help us gauge what more we can be able to support you with. Then an overall rate of the quality and relevance of this training for your pharmacy needs. Do you feel like we've answered some of the questions you've always been having with regards to how social media or how you can leverage more digital presence for your business? Do you now have an understanding of how important it is and why demand generation is important, especially given that family planning is now a new service delivery that's being provided in the pharmacy space? How much more do you now feel you can be able to do from this training? I will give 2 more minutes for those who are still filling the poll. Then we will be able to just have a quick scan of how the results look like from the poll. So please, if you've not yet filled the poll, kindly do so. And if you still have any questions that you want the speakers to answer, please type them in on the Q&A. We will be able to share the slides and also the video recording on YouTube so that you can always have the resource and go back. Or for those who were not able to attend, maybe the association leads will also be able to share with them so that then no one is left behind as we are all increasing our digital presence. 1 more minute for those who are still filling the poll so that we can get a quick scan of your feedback, and then we will be able to have a final word from Bernard, then we close the session. You can also type in your comments on the chat. I see some very good comments coming in. Thank you to those who are already sharing. Also, ensure you apply for the CPD on the PPB portal for farm techs and pharmacists so that you may be able to get your CPD points. You can check between today and tomorrow so that you can be able to get your CPD points from this session. Okay, I hope you've all had a chance to fill the poll. Let's be able now to see the results and the feedback that you've been able to share. Thank you for all the comments that you're sharing on the chat. All right, so 85% really want to have a fully optimized Google business profile. That's very good. I applaud you on the same. Also running a paid social media campaign, which is excellent. And designing an e-commerce website, very nice. And posting on Instagram, nice. You feel very confident. We hope through the next sessions, we move those who are slightly confident and moderately confident to very confident and extremely confident. I like the one person who's now extremely confident. And which part stood out for you? Setting up your digital foundations, the Google profile and the Facebook page. Also optimizing your profile for local search. Understanding how the digital pieces work together and creating engaging content. Overall, how would you rate the quality? Very good, excellent. Tell us, for those who said fair and good, how much more or what more would you have wanted to be shared within the sessions to make it excellent or very good for the coming sessions? Thank you for the feedback that you've been able to share with us. I will give a chance to Bernard. These are some of the accounts you can follow. Follow us in Supply Health on all social platforms, X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Same to Via Health. Some of the accounts that are also trailblazers, there's the self-care, there's the Reproductive Health Supplies Coalition. Once we share the slides, you can also just read through. There are a couple of accounts that you can be able to follow so that then we can at least each have a chance to see what good work is being done out there and what's still relevant within the community pharmacy space and the expanded services that you're now offering. I'll now give a chance to Bernard just to speak through Via Health and what they do. Karibu, Bernard.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, so for Via Health, it's all about lifting up healthcare for women and girls. And we have a few products that we have locally here in Kenya. And we do this across most of the countries within Africa, with Kenya as one of the markets that we are having, Meuri, Pronta, and Avatiso. And at one point, maybe our medical business developers have either visited your pharmacy and they have come with these samples, of course, trying to push the uptake within the Kenyan market. On the next slide, you'll be able to see the 3 products I'm talking about. We have the Meuri, Pronta, which is Pronta 1, and Avatiso. And they have different benefits in terms of how they come into play. Advanced pill for young patients. This is Meuri. Advantages or other benefits: low rate of bleeding irregularities, lesser weight gain, no amenorrhea, and then reduces frequency of nausea and headaches, and then lesser chances of acne and hirsutism. We have Pronta One, which is one tablet. It's safe to use, and of course, it's very effective and can go up to 72 hours, easily available, and can be used by women of all ages. And then we have our Tiz, which is a misoprostol 200 mcg tablets. Again, this is also available. And all these products are available through Via Health. And I'm just posting here the contacts that you can be able to reach us on. You can just fill in the form, and our team will be able to get back to you through the phone. Let me just post on the comment section. And that is it from my end.
Thank you, Bernard. And thank you all for joining and taking time out of your day. We hope it was a good time well spent. As you continue on with your business for today, I wish you the very best and have a lovely rest of the week. Asanteni.
Asante sana and good day.